Yeah, I was. Isaac was showing me the different playlists and everything, and yeah, dude, that's like a wealth of knowledge. So, all right. So anyway, recording just started. Big MVP Jim remembered to start it. So, what I was about to ask about was, so like imagine Casper blockchain consensus, and I'm a validator here in the network, and I see all these blocks flying around, and it just so happens that I don't have any new transactions to send out. You know, maybe I don't have my node publicly available, and I'm not doing anything myself, or for whatever reason, I just don't have any new transactions. But I may still want to participate in Casper by acknowledging, like, I've seen this one, I've seen that one. Like, I'd like to somehow put it in the justification, but that's my only motivation for creating a block. So I wondered, like, is there such a thing as creating an empty block? And, you know, I guess then there's the meta questions of, like, is that in some paper, or is that grounds for us to think about what the advantages and disadvantages are?
Yeah. Well, yeah, so I guess those blocks would kind of just be like acknowledging that they've seen multiple other blocks and that the transactions within those multiple other blocks don't conflict, right? So that would have to be good, I feel, but I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder if we should draw a diagram. Let's see here. Oh, I can't create a Google diagram still, although I do know how to use Google.
Well, you need a Google account to actually create the document.
I think so.
All right, let me see if I can do it then.
I can create it for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds good.
Where is it? What do you want again? The Google Drawings here?
Yeah.
Google Draw.
That worked out so great last time.
Yeah, there's a bunch of options in there too if you like take time to do it. It's kind of hard to do it live like that, but yeah, if you take time, there's tons of different options to make the diagrams look really nice.
Oh yeah, great.
Let me just share it. And what do we call it today?
Just call it a date. Casper 1/4/2019.
And it is and you can edit. All right.
Oh, by the way, I think I may have figured out that K-framework stuff, but I'll have to do it and run some tests to see if I actually broke anything.
Oh, for your RoCalc implementation?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, here we go with a link.
Yeah, I put it in the Discord.
That looks great. Okay, anybody mind if I take the share?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, Jeremy's asking for the Zoom room. Part of me wants to poke fun at him and say it's the same one as always, but I also sometimes.
I have an event in a calendar that reminds me what room it is every time.
I got it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you beat me by 1 second. I'm going to delete that. Good job. Is my screen shared now, or are you seeing my face still?
Yeah, I see your screen.
Okay, all right, nice. So, text box. Jeremy, what up?
Jeremy.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Just doing a little consensus.
Ooh, nice. I dig it. How was everyone's New Year?
What'd you say?
How was your New Year?
Oh yeah, good man. 2019 is gonna be great.
That's right. 2019 is going to be a good year.
Hashtag lit.
Oh, I already like this diagram.
Yeah, we got a big fish over here. All right, so
I'm a whale. Nice.
so in fact, yeah, we'll just play with these weights and see how it works out, and if we have to change it, we can. I almost wonder there. I want to do that. So the question that I was trying to get at is, in blockchain consensus, is there a case where a validator may want to send around a block that doesn't contain any new transactions or deploys or whatever vocab we like for that, but that just contains justifications, that just says, yes, I've seen Jim's block, etc., etc. Oh, now I'm starting to wonder if the answer is the only time you ever need to send your justifications are to justify where you're building your block.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'll look up what it says in the paper too while we're talking about this.
Which one are you looking for?
Which paper?
Yeah.
I guess the newest one, but I'm not even sure where I'd find that in the newest one.
Yeah, okay.
I'm much less familiar with the layout of that one.
All right, so I guess we need a blockchain view over here too. At one point, does it really take 3 clicks every time I want to draw a square, or am I missing something there? Like if I want to go like that.
Oh, to get that square tool?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. Try to go back to that shape tool and see if it'll just draw a square. You have to drop down and click.
I usually just copy and paste it, like just find a block and just keep pasting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I learned this.
That's the best way, I think.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant. Okay. This is our consensus / Google Docs session at this point.
Right.
So, okay. No. No, you dirty dog. All right.
Yeah, I kind of don't like that those boundaries are always so big. It's weird that it doesn't like auto adjust the boundaries to the size of object that you just created, but
yeah.
You know, all right, whatever.
So, all right, so let's say we got this block going. Things are looking pretty normal at this point. I guess this one would go, the blockchain's just linear so far. I mean, is this looking right?
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, and you have it B1 pointing up to Jeremy just to signify that it's going to the Genesis block.
Yeah, exactly. Built right off of the Genesis block.
Cool.
So then, what I was wondering is if there's some way, if there's ever any need for like, let's see if I can just select that. There we go. For like, not. There's got to be a color thing on here, but
I think you have to have the shape selected, and then it's up on that toolbar. Yeah, I don't know.
To the left of the pen, yeah. Right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you. I wondered if there was ever a situation where I might be interested in doing something like this, where my block doesn't contain any transactions itself, but it just acknowledges like, hey, I've seen this one on the network. But now I can't that made sense in my head before we drew it out, but now I can't think of why I might even want to do something like this.
Well, I think the way you were explaining it before made a lot more sense to me. So I'll kind of explain what I was thinking when
Yeah.
you mentioned it earlier. So earlier, it sounded like you were saying if there were 2 blocks or more, that somebody is kind of acknowledging that they've seen, but not adding their own transactions to it. So, like, for example, if Jim and I both produced a block off of B1 or something, or some other information, and then Joshy was to see both Jim and Isaac's block, then maybe it's a good thing for them to be proposing that block, because they can say that these transactions don't conflict or something along those lines.
So something like this, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So now, okay, right. So I got to get this one over here in the blockchain view. I guess maybe it's worth being clear. So, okay, so now what's my motive? So yeah, this is definitely a more interesting DAG, right? Or blockchain at this point. What's my motivation for doing a block like this, though?
Yeah, so I guess it's only this might be a case where the block DAG is completely different than the blockchain, in the sense that if this person were to include B2 and B3 both as parents, then they're saying something more that wasn't there before, right? They're confirming that there's no conflicting transactions in those 2 blocks.
So, that would be if I were to do it on this side.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Because at first I thought it might be useful just to say, like, yo, I've seen these, like, I'm acknowledging them. But now that I think about it more, I don't think there's any value in that. Oh, well, okay, so how about this? What if I wanted to, like, vote? What if it turns out that B2 and B3... Well, okay, so in blockchain situation, if someone wants to go and build a block later, they need to know whether they should build it off of B2 or B3, and they're going to decide that based on the ghost rule.
Yeah.
So far, I haven't signaled support for either of these.
Right.
Let's say Jim is going to build the next block here.
Oh, interesting. It looks like you kind of decide which chain is traversed, because like currently as it stands, currently as it stands, B0 to B3 is the fork that would be taken from Genesis, right? Because it has weight 10, whereas B1 only has a 4 and a 5 associated.
So let's see. This left blockchain has weight from Jeremy's 5 and Jim's 4. So this chain has weight 9. Going this way has weight 9.
Yeah.
3 has weight 10. That's yours, Isaac. So this is a close race, and I have enough weight to break the tie.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so that's right. Okay, so like if Jim's about to go here and build this block B4, then the way I've drawn it right now, he's seen yours is heavier, he builds off of B3.
Yeah.
But if I somehow...
Yeah, if you only see B2.
Yeah, right. So this is, so let's annotate this maybe. Maybe that's as eloquent as I can think of right now.
Oh, yeah, and it can always be modified. But that's good.
So I need to...
So at this point, it's more of a... Just to kind of echo back, so yeah, like you just said, it's more of a race at this point, because if Joshua would have saw B2, I'm just want to make sure I'm getting this.
Yeah.
Before Jim did it, then what Isaac said, it would just totally change the way the blockchain is propagating down, right? So
Yeah.
instead of just going from B3, it'll just go straight from B2, and then it'll be. I mean, that'll make Joshy B4, and then Jim's B5.
Yeah, should I number that? I guess if we're going to put it over here in the blockchain, it needs to be numbered, right?
Mm-hmm. Or you can just make a red block over there, and it'll be pretty
Oh
clear.
yeah,
I guess.
yeah, that's right. Needs to be
Um,
identified somehow.
yeah. So okay, let me clarify that, because that's kind of what I was thinking too, and I just want to see if that's what everybody else is thinking. So if Joshy is to build off of Jim's B2. So that now makes that left fork in the blockchain have weight 4 plus 4 plus 5, so 13. That beats out 10, right? So now anybody who sees both B3 and the red block is going to build off of that one, build off of the left chain, off of the red block, really. Is that right?
I think that's right. I was gonna try to get some get these annotations like we did with the weights or the scores like we did before.
Yeah, right.
Because I think this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
And can we actually,
Mm.
just for humor's sake, put like another square besides your pink one on the Casper side and make it like green or something, just to play it out, see what would happen on both sides?
So put an additional one over here, you're saying, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, just like a small one, like to the right of your green one, to say, all right, if you would, and another one on the right side to see how it'll look if it played out on both sides, whether or not you saw it or not. But I'm not sure that would make.
Oh, you're saying like instead of going to B2, like if mine had gone to B3, like in an alternate reality?
Yeah. So,
that's a good idea. Yeah. Can we do that on the same diagram?
Oh, maybe.
Oops, that's more than I meant.
Yeah, maybe just like put it below or something.
Yeah.
Since you got that text above already.
It could just like even be like a tiny one too or something.
But okay, so these two blocks are equivocation. If these both came from me, they're equivocation. So the what we're really representing here is like, consider the world where I only sent the pink one, and consider the world where I only sent the green one, because together they're a problem.
Yeah, that's right. Disjoint realities.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Nice.
So, it's going to be a little bit hard to show them both at the same time, but I think we can do it.
Well, maybe like you said, make that one green or something, so it's totally different from every other block too, so we can keep track of it.
Oh yeah, I think it is different, but it's not different enough.
Yeah, it looks pretty similar to me.
Is that better?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. All right, so I was going to score these. The scores are actually going to be different depending on whether we're doing the pink block or the green block.
Oh yeah. Well, it's good. You already have red number up there, so we can do some green numbers too, maybe.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, great point. I think this one goes here, right?
That looks good.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Oh no.
All right, I think that looks better.
Perfect.
Yeah, that snapping stuff that Draw does is pretty nice.
Yeah, it makes things look really good.
Yeah. Okie doke. So
oh yeah, that looks perfect.
So let's continue with this. Oh my goodness. The scoring.
Yeah, so we got a red and a green 23. Yeah, maybe let's score the red first, though.
Yeah, I'll do all the red ones first. Okay, so here in Red World, everyone but Isaac has seen this, so we've got 13.
13.
And then now we lose Jeremy's weight because he was only B1, so we're down to 8. And then
only Joshy has proposed that one.
Yeah, so we're down to 4 at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. Over here, this one is 10. Oh no, oh yeah, the red number is 10.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't even exist in red
That
world.
one doesn't exist in red world.
Yeah, okay. And then, so maybe this is the best way to do these.
Ooh, can you just copy all of them and drag them up slightly?
Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, I think it's gonna work.
Yeah, come on. Oh yeah, even over to that one. That's a great idea.
Haha.
Nice. All right,
Yeah,
perfect.
maybe up is better. Probably, I guess it doesn't matter that much.
It looks good.
Oh boy, not like that though. All right.
I wonder if we can get a sponsorship by Google. Like, hey, we're also going to go over some consensus. Also going to teach you how to use Full Draw.
So in green world, my 4 doesn't count on this left chain.
Yeah. So we're down to 4 here and nothing there.
Yeah.
And then this should be 14.
Yeah, because my 4 is over here.
Right.
And then
4 down below.
okay. So in red world, the fork goes left, and B4 would be built on here.
Yeah.
And in green world, the fork goes right because 14 is greater than 9, and B4 would be built on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that convinces us that there is a reason why a validator like me, who didn't have any new transactions to contribute to a block, may still want to participate in not just a justification. The justifications alone are useless. But what's useful is putting a block in the blockchain so that I can affect the ghost fork choice tip rule. So I don't know if either of those, or if any of those Casper papers say anything about empty blocks, but it seems like it could have real world effect.
Well, I wonder if you.
What was that, Jim?
I would say this is really sweet. I mean, it's incredibly interesting. It's almost as though it's enables. I guess delayed choice is the wrong way to say it, but if it's using extra information to make the choice that it wouldn't have otherwise. And,
Yeah, this information about where I built my block specifically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, it could be part of maybe a changing your mind's strategy in terms of changing to an alternate reality.
But can that also technically be a flaw, though?
It could be that at some point an alternate reality gets more weight.
Yeah, so I think this actually is, now that we're thinking about it more, I think this is what people described as the nothing at stake problem, because in earlier versions of Casper, I could send out the pink block and the green block and just kind of bet on both realities and say I'm fine with either of them, and then, Jim, leave it up to you where you want to build this, and you can do the same thing. You could build off my pink one or my green one, or somewhere, I should say my pink one and my green one, or any other place that you felt like. And I think Casper solves that by the mechanism of saying, in reality, I have to choose one of these or the other, because if I send them both out, I've equivocated and I'm going to get slashed for it.
Right, but you could make it ambiguous in the sense that, you know, I have uh, I have this. I put this way. I bet this weight on that and that weight on the other.
Oh, dude, that would be super cool. What if I don't know if this is what you're saying, Jim, but maybe it is. What if we put like 1/4 of my weight here and 3/4 of my weight over here? I don't know. I don't think there's a mechanism for that in Casper as we've talked about it, but I don't see
No,
any reason why there couldn't be.
suggesting that we give the weight there, right? We give the actual weight, so the weight can, from a more, someone looking at this later knows what the weight was then, and can see what the weight is now on that branch. So they have that.
No, that's interesting. It's almost like a prediction market in the consensus protocol at that point, because you're like making wagers on what you think the reality will eventually be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're using, you know, it's based on weight. You know, I mean, it's based on the weight that you receive. You're just essentially reporting, you know, this is my reality right now in terms of
yeah. I think with Casper, the way that we currently have it, even though there's not this like weight, you know, a way to like portion your weight on different blocks, I think this is still an equivocation though. We'd have to change the definition of equivocation a little bit if we were to allow something like this.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that too, and at first it seemed like the proper thing was, well, my intuition was these have to sum to no more than my total of 4.
Yeah.
But what I was having a hard time expressing was then what if I, you know, it's really clear here where it only happened one place in the entire like justification DAG.
Right.
But what happens if I try to do a move like this again later on? Like which ones have to sum to 4? It might be hard to express that relationship.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't know. The first thing I thought of is maybe like some notion of rounds where like each time you send out a message, like that string of messages has to you know carry only your total weight in some.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay, yeah. So I can't send these as 2 totally independent messages.
Yeah, it would have to be in batches or
that
something.
contains all of the alternatives.
Yeah.
So in any given message, my weight. So definitely it can't sum to more than 4, but is it okay to sum to less than 4? Like what if I did that?
Oh, like you don't want to put your total weight? I guess I would wonder what the incentive is in that case, but I don't see why that would be an issue.
Yeah, I don't know why one might want to do that either. It seems like you'd want to have your maximum.
Yeah, use your full voting power or whatever.
Yeah, because I could. So maybe what I really care about is this 2-to-1 ratio. Well, I could maintain the 2-to-1 ratio, but still throw around my full weight. Okay, so this was an interesting place to leave it. Did we redo these scores?
I just realized over a couple weeks ago we were talking about what happened if people don't grow in like validated form. So I mean, we might be going down the rabbit hole on this one, but what would happen if you had like, let's just say Joshy had like 2 other validator nodes and he using that weight of those to kind of control both spectrums on how it goes in terms of sending messages.
That was a tiny bit hard to hear, Jeremy. Were you saying like if for whatever reason like I'm actually puppet mastering a different one of the validators, so really they're both representing my will?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's a question about validator collusion, right? Like if you and I were on a team and although it looks like we're acting independently, like really we're colluding behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder.
But I mean,
Yeah,
again,
go
I'm not sure if that's like a rabbit hole question or not.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting. One thing I wondered is like, so let's say, Jeremy, let's say you and I are trying to play for a team here. Can we like somehow affect our will better by playing as two players, you know, you with weight 5 and me with weight 4, as opposed to if we were just a single validator with weight 9? Well, actually, so I guess like if we want to have some reason to call this a Sybil resistant. So do you guys know the term Sybil or Sybil attack?
I've heard it. Can you describe what it
Yeah,
is?
the real brief description is well, it's named after this person who had what's it called? I think it's called schizophrenia, or multiple personality disorder.
Okay.
And her, like, you know, sort of like real, or like her primary personality and the name that she went by, like legally, was Sybil, but then she had all these other personalities. And so a Sybil attack is exactly what we're talking about here, where like really there's only one entity, this like alliance of me and Jeremy, but we're manifesting ourselves as multiple accounts. So like in social media, sometimes they call it sock puppets or something like that.
Yeah. Well, so I would say, especially in the version of Casper where we can do this like partial weights for each block, I think it's identical.
Oh, totally. Oh, that's a great point. So maybe we could say, without loss of generality, we don't need to allow this weight splitting, because if you care to weight split, instead of being one validator here, I could be 4 different validators with weight 1.
Yeah. Well, I guess at that point you don't have the ability of choosing each round how much weight you're gonna, you know, vote with on each block.
No, I think you still do, because so I would just need to, like, these would just be normal blue blocks. One of them came from the Sybil who had weight 1, and the other one came from 3 of the Sybils who had, or it was 3 blocks from the Sybils of weight 1, or a Sybil of weight 3.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, you could always do like a least common denominator, create that many, you know, sub-validators or whatever, and then just have the right number put on the right block, and then you can do basically what you want.
Oh, right. So doing this, yeah, another way to write this maybe would be like,
yeah, you're actually 4 different validators with weight 1.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. However we want to break them down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it this way just so it matches what we did below.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I think that was an interesting talk. Should we rescore the blockchain according to what we've done here at this point?
Oh, yeah, according to the 1/4 and 3/4.
Yeah. So our total weight's 23.
Mm-hmm.
So these 23s are still right. Everybody acknowledges the Genesis block, definitely. And then, okay, so then B1 has, this is, we're doing it the wrong way. That's the problem. You got to start at the bottom, I think. That's going to make it easier. So, okay, so now B2 has this 1, and it also has Jim's 4. Grr. Oh, stop it. Okay, that looks good, I think.
Yeah.
Then B1 has the 5 below plus Jeremy's 5.
Yeah, so 10.
And then B0 has the 10 below plus Isaac's 10. So 20. Okay, so I think the red numbers are right. So then in green world, oh wait, why did that happen?
Oh, well, because in terms of red world, Team Joshi wasn't using their full weight.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That makes sense. So it doesn't sum up to everybody because I
Yeah,
haven't
it
fully
wouldn't.
accounted for the Genesis block.
Yeah. What's up, Tomislav?
Oh, hey, Tomislav. Okay, so then in Green World, we've got 3 down here. B3 is an Isaac block, so it has the 3 plus Isaac's 10. So that's going to be 13. B2 doesn't have any green support, right? Yeah, that's right. B1 also doesn't have any green support, right? Why is that changing so much? Oh, no, I'm making a mistake, I think. B2, we still have to score everybody else's. So B2,
B2 still has 4.
yeah,
right?
that's my mistake. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not. Yeah, it's just from Green World, which only doesn't include the red block.
That's right. Okay. So B2 still has 4. B1
Yeah.
has 9.
Yeah, that's 9.
So the 9 are Jim's 4 and Jeremy's 5.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it'll be 22 on the top, but we'll figure that out in a second.
For some reason, I didn't. Oh, stop. Okay. I didn't do this one, but I think that should be 13 because it's 3 from down here, 10 from B3.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, so this should be, they should sum, I think, right? 13 plus 9.
22. Yeah. That's right. Yep.
And neither the red nor green number adds up to the full 23.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And I think in general, that would be really hard to keep track of what that number actually should be if you're allowing partial voting on different blocks.
Yeah.
I don't look at it as partial voting. I looked at it as simply providing more information in terms of representing your world of
Yeah.
what justifications you've seen.
Yeah.
So you're sharing the information
Yeah.
verifiably, to an extent, but they can still be slashed if there's a lie, if it's inconsistent.
Yeah. So, what about a case where so you want to propose 2 blocks like Joshy's team has done here, and so the red block is seeing multiple blocks that don't have conflicting transactions, and you want to vote on that somehow. So put weight 1 to that block. The green block is seeing multiple different blocks that all are not mutually conflicting, but may conflict with some of the blocks that you saw with the red block.
All I'm reporting is the justification. I get this weight on this fork, and
Yeah.
I get that weight on this fork. I report that.
Yeah.
And when somebody gets that report from me, they say, okay, he chose the higher one. He chose the one that was more justified.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a blockchain here still. So the notion of conflicting blocks I don't think is relevant.
Okay.
That becomes important when we talk about if I wanted to make a multiple parent block over here on the right side.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Right.
Very interesting, though. It has it's reporting your knowledge, and it's really is a what do you call it? And it's an inactive participation. But the question is, if we report more information, how would that be used for us or against us?
Yeah. So I'm thinking more about in practice whether it would be better to implement something like this by saying that you can explicitly split your weight between different. But this doesn't really. I don't really know if it makes sense to put different weights like this. I'm not sure what we did totally makes sense here, because these are just justifications, right? We're just saying what we've seen, and there's no reason, I've either seen B2 or not seen it.
Yeah.
There's no reason I would say I've 1/4 seen it. Now, what I might want to do is what we did over here, where I say I'm putting 1/4 of my weight. Well, okay, maybe that's what this means, actually. This means I've seen B2 and I've seen B3, and I just want to assign my weights accordingly over on the right diagram.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of like a prediction market in a blockchain.
Yeah, that's right.
You're just voting. I mean, but then again, that kind of how consensus, proof of stake consensus, that's sort of how it's working anyways, right? You're just voting on what you think the ultimate reality will be, sort of.
Yeah, I guess you're voting by building a block over here. So getting into this conversation, we just sort of took it for granted. Once we decided it was interesting, we took it for granted that one can build empty blocks.
Yeah,
I think that's a good conclusion, right? We decided they have a purpose.
Yeah, definitely.
So then my question I'm wondering about is implementation wise, is it better to implement it like we've shown here, where I send out a single message that says 1/4 of my weight goes on B2 and 1/4 and 3/4 of it goes on B3? Or is it better to actually split into multiple validators with multiple key pairs with the stake divided all up? Because we have this splitting, we have that right now in RChain where I can just create multiple validators.
Yeah. Maybe there's fundamentally no difference though, because you could, from when you become a validator, just make yourself, 10 different validators that all have a very small amount of stake. And then if you want to half agree with one block and half agree with another, use 5 for one and 5 for the other, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
I don't think you should choose. I think you should report the justifications, and the weight is the weight, period. This is the many worlds RChain, where we have multiple worlds going on, and we can choose the one that's most successful out of those worlds.
Yeah. So I was thinking, I have a good analogy, I think, for building an empty block. It's kind of like, if you're using Facebook Messenger, you can put a thumbs up, just like React or Discord or whatever, just react to somebody's message instead of adding to the conversation, so it's like a thumbs up on their block.
That's exactly
instead of adding to it.
That's exactly what it's like. We can even
get little thumbs up emojis.
Yeah. I bet I'll be able to copy it pretty easily. This is a good way to end the sesh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice, great. There's even a copy button on there. Oh, perfect. Wow, why did it? Nice.
I guess I don't understand why you would vote, differently than the stake on the other alternatives. Why would you do a thumbs up? If not based on the information that you have.
Okay, that's a good question. Why would I want to split my vote the way we've shown here?
No, I think it should be that you should report the weights.
I'm not really clear what you mean by that.
Well, you've seen the red and the green.
I am the red and the green. I'm making the red and the green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what I'm suggesting is that, you're making the red and the green because you've seen two histories.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you're reporting the two histories that you've seen. I don't believe you should arbitrarily choose a value. You say red has this way and green has this way.
That's a great point. Okay, so Jim, you're saying that I should, this 1/4 and 3/4, really these should be split according to my own evaluation of the ghost rule on B2 and B3. Whatever, so like
I'm saying that you provide a justification for red and you provide a justification for green.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a question. You're staking on two different blockchains, right?
Yeah.
Which I remember that Vlad was talking about, that if you're staking of two different blockchains, you will be equivocating.
yeah, so what we were digging into was when this first started, my validator had weight 4, right? And so, yeah, definitely according to Casper, the way Vlad has written it up, this is an equivocation for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
What we were thinking about was something a little bit more general, where I actually can split my weight and vote some of it on one blockchain like I did here and some of it over here, and we'll only consider it an equivocation if they sum to more than my total weight.
Okay. See.
So, and then what I understood Jim saying was I shouldn't just arbitrarily choose 1/4 and 3/4 or half and half. I should base it on whatever the scores of these blocks were before. So that way I can indicate to the network that I've seen both of those. Well, but my justification structure, by citing both of these just as justifications, already communicates to the network what I've seen.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and this could get really messy, but the point is that you can find out that at a later point in time that the green has more weight than the red, or the red has more weight than the green. And it may not be determined immediately.
You're saying by other people building off of these that I haven't heard about yet?
Right.
And when you say more weight, you really mean more than half weight of all validators. So you can be sure this is the right chain.
This is the greatest consensus of the stakeholders.
So, Jim, I think you're saying regardless of whether it's more than half, it's more than the other. Green is more than red, at least.
Right. Yeah, we find out later in time because of other branches, other justifications you get. But then, it's work, and there has to be a reason for it. And it's like, do we want? We're really creating a many worlds network here with.
So is there we started talking about this in the context of I didn't have anything interesting like transaction wise to add to the blockchain. I'm just showing support here. But imagine that I do have a transaction I want to add. Can I add it to my red block and my green block?
Yeah, I want to ask you all. Both of these chains can be valid, right?
Can be what?
It can be valid and correct, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we're trying to decide on which one is we're trying to achieve consensus on which one is the real chain.
So only one can be really correct and valid.
Yeah, so like in Bitcoin, it would be determined by the longest chain rule. So it would be like this one, I guess. But here we're using the ghost rule.
We can have a fork, like a splitting and then joining again, right?
Well, here we're just playing blockchain, not block DAG. So in this one, there's no rejoining.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, in DAG, there is rejoining. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing I'm starting to think is like our discussion shifted a little bit from like thinking of these as two different alternative blocks of which I might send one, and then we scored this, to now we're thinking like, oh yeah, well, they don't sum to more than 4, so we can send both. So that makes me think we should score these back as single numbers again.
Yeah, I was wondering how we would do that, because like if we send the red block first, that's going to change how the green block is scored, right? Or how well, that'll change the scoring in general and then potentially change the placement of the green block.
Oh, that's yeah. So let's just see.
Yeah, and and I'm still thinking that I don't know if it matters to allow this or not, because as we've been saying from the beginning, like Team Joshi could just be 4 independent valid, or 4 seemingly independent validators all controlled by one person.
Yeah.
Each with weight 1, and then as you get messages B2 and B3, only one of those weight 1 validators chooses to acknowledge B2 and 3 of them choose to acknowledge B3. So like we can even concoct this exact same an equivalent diagram in Casper as we know it currently.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, but this now, like sending 2 blocks simultaneously would be the departure point from that, I think.
Oh, really? Why is that different than well, it's already, no, I don't think it's different. This is the same as like considered, here's Joshi team. I didn't split it quite as generally as you said as 1 1 1 1. That would definitely be the general.
Yeah, 1 and 3 is fine.
I split it into 1 and 3, and so this is a block from Joshi A, and green is a block from Joshi B.
Yeah.
So this still seems like perfectly valid Casper with 5 validators.
Yeah, but how do we score the blockchain when we want to simultaneously add red and green?
I think that's what the black numbers did. This is just like if, one validator sent this thing and one validator sent this thing. They're not in each other's justifications. They haven't seen.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right.
Simultaneous.
Okay.
So they will eventually agree what is the correct chain, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Although they voted.
So in this case, so the whole question was like this: Jim's placement of B4. So here's Jim building another block. Where does he build it? Well, so Ghost says you start a Genesis block and then you look at your 2 forks and see which way is heavier. Well, here's a 10 and here's a 13, so he's going to go this way. And then there's only one option, and so B4 should go down right below green, I guess. Maybe we should put that one in and call it a week. Whoops. Oh, no. Had to get one more of those in.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
Yeah, but now my scores are wrong.
Yeah, well, that's always going to happen, though.
Yeah.
We don't have to change anything on the left chain, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Oh, yeah. In fact, it's not that bad, really. We just got to add Jim's 4 to here. Oh, no, we do. We do have to change stuff on the left.
That's right. Yeah, because he's now left.
Jim's weight is no longer on B2.
Yep.
So this one, here's what we're going to do, how we're going to indicate that. Boom.
Okay.
All right. Well, all right. You guys want to wrap it there and talk about Parsec a little bit?
Cool. Oh yeah. Wow. It's 10 after 10 already.
We didn't even talk about block tag.
I know. Well, apparently we didn't have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to step away. I can continue recording or make a separate recording.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
stop and restart.
Separate would be good.
Yeah.